Hello, folks, and welcome to the Deep Fried Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jack Fry, and thanks for listening. Well, June 6th, 1944, 75 years ago today, Normandy, the greatest invasion in military history. Thank you to the 34,250 Americans who invaded those beaches that day, fighting for freedom. 9,388 of our boys died that day, fighting to liberate France and to free the world of Nazi tyranny. Those are the guys, the men, who I respect, who I look up to, and who I cherish in my life. I love sports, but without those guys, we have nothing. Thank you, men. You did it. Speaking of France, the Women's World Cup starts tomorrow, and the first game will be France versus South Korea. Our ladies of America will be playing on Tuesday at 3 Eastern versus Thailand. I will be rooting for the American women to defend. They are the title winners 4 years ago, and they're going to go for a repeat. Let's go, USA! Game 5 of the Stanley Cup is tonight at 8 Eastern. The Blues and the Bruins are tied 2-2. But let me get to this. Last night, we had a pretty darn good game. It was Game 3 of the NBA Finals, in which the Raptors won 123-109. Toronto won wire to wire. They hit all the shots that they were missing in Game 2, and all 5 of their starters had 17 points or more. That is impressive. Every one of their players on their team, including bench players, shot over 50%. Wow. They could not miss last night. I was watching that game like every single time they hucked up a three or made a mid-range jump shot, I was like, man, are they ever going to miss a shot? How could the Warriors possibly come back when they were shooting lights out like that? And they couldn't. The Warriors were coming from behind all game long. Toronto was in control the entire time. And every single point in the game where the Warriors were making a comeback, they could cut it to 7 points. Toronto went on another miniature run and made it so that the Warriors were out of reach all game long. I have to say, congratulations, Toronto. You played a heck of a game. If you didn't win last night, you'd be down 2-1 with another game at Oracle in Oakland, looking at a chance to be going down 3-1. This was probably a must-win for the Raptors, and they got it done. Early on in the game, I saw something happen that told me the Warriors were not going to win, and it had to do with effort. With about 9.5 minutes left in the first quarter, the very beginning of the game, Cousins got a ticky-tacky foul on a jump shot. He got free throws, and in his final free throw attempt, the ball hit the front of the rim so hard, if he had only reached out, he could have grabbed the rebound from the free throw line. But he just stood there and watched it along with the rest of the Warriors standing around the key. Absolutely no effort at all in the first 3 minutes of the ball game. Any one of those guys could have had a good chance at an offensive rebound in that moment, but nothing. That had me worried for the Warriors last night. You know, when you come out in a game like that and you don't show any effort to get a rebound on a free throw, that tells me you're not trying very hard. And I thought from that moment on, the Warriors had no chance. As much as Curry could do to win that game last night, he had no help, at least offensively. And the Warriors missed Clay defensively. They gave up 123 points. Usually, as I've said in the past, the magic number for the Warriors scoring is 104. If they score over 104 points, their winning percentage is super high. If they score less, it's sub 500. But they scored 109 and still lost. Let's give Andrew Bogut some credit here. The guy from Australia has been thrown into the lineup in which he only played for a few weeks before the playoffs even started He took a charge, he made some blocks, and he was awesome last night. He just can't play the whole game. And he still has chemistry with these starting Warriors, Draymond and Steph Curry, also with a little bit of Iguodala and Livingston. But his knowledge of the game, his defensive prowess, and his experience had the Warriors playing pretty well in the first half. You know, this game was out of reach for the Warriors the entire time, but I have to say, put Klay back in the lineup, I don't think Toronto can win this series. So it all depends on how his hamstring is doing. We'll see if he plays Game 4, and we'll see when Kevin Durant comes back, if at all. I'd like to see Cousins play a little bit better and more consistently. He was a liability on the defensive end. Guys were just driving right around him, making him look slow, and he wasn't getting too many rebounds either. Now, part of the reason I think the Warriors didn't have a chance last night was the officiating. And I know, they got beat because Toronto won and played well. That is true. And even with good officiating, they probably still would have lost the game. But 5 minutes into the second quarter, the Raptors blatantly goaltended a Cousins layup. It's like, hello, you can't hit the ball when blocking a shot after the ball touches the backboard, no matter if it's going up or down. If it touches the backboard, you cannot touch the ball. It's goaltending every time. I've never seen that call missed in my life. Not once. In all the basketball I've watched, have I seen them miss that call. Come on, guys. This is the finals. Not only that, Kawhi Leonard blatantly traveled in a huge possession after another terrible call against McKinney. No call there either. The refs were not going to make it easy and call it fair last night. Now, players on the Raptors were awesome. Danny Green came off the bench and was scoring lights out. He had threes all over the place. I believe he was 6 for 8 from three-point land. The guy hit 3 in a row at one point, and that just kind of deflated the Warriors' comeback. Lowry was instrumental and finally showed up. The stats went like this. Siakam had a good game, 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists, and he had a bunch of nice maneuvers around the paint, getting easy layups around the slower Warriors last night. Kawhi Leonard had a quiet 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists, and he has been passing the ball much better. Gasol had 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. Danny Green with 18 points, 5 rebounds and 1 assist. All 18 of his points came on those 6 3-pointers. Van Vliet off the bench also had 11 points. And Lowry showed up huge with 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists. They had 6 guys in double figures. Pretty nice performance. On the Warriors side, Curry had 47 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. A heck of a performance, but it just wasn't enough. The next highest scorer was Draymond Green with 17 points. He had 7 rebounds and 4 assists. Iguodala had 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And Cousins had a terrible performance with only 4 points, only 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. The Warriors just didn't have enough. Congratulations, Raptors. You pulled off a win. You needed it badly. And if the Warriors can win Game 4, it'll be tied 2-2 going back to Toronto, in which Draymond Green says they will win Game 5 and win Game 6. Well, he said at least that's all they need to do to celebrate. I like that point of view. I like that confidence. If they get Klay back and if they get Durant back, the Warriors will win the finals. It all depends on injuries. Look at the Raptors. If they had these kinds of injuries, if Kawhi was out just like Durant's out, or if Siakam was out just like Klay's out, I don't think Toronto has a chance. Not even close. So we know who the better team is. It just all depends on injuries and performance. Nice game, Curry. 47 points. That was huge. We knew you had to have a performance like that in order to have a chance to win. Game 4 is on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank goodness they didn't put 2 days of rest in between games on a non-traveling schedule. Come on, guys. We don't need that much time in between games when they're not flying across the country. So we only have to wait today until we get Game 4 tomorrow. That is better scheduling than before. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the game. Let's get amped up for the Women's World Cup. Support your American women in defending their title. Once again, Game 5 tonight, Stanley Cup, 8 Eastern. And next week, Thursday starts Pebble Beach, the U.S. Open. Go Tiger! I love it. Thanks, folks. Music has been provided by Ben Sounds. Whoa, Ben! Your sounds are amazing! Thank you. Goodbye.